Welcome to A Couple of Thoughts podcast. We are your hosts,
Eli Melech
and Chaya Halberstam-Evers. Join our conversations and enjoy our couple of thoughts on various topics.
From Jewish lifestyle, politics, food, travel, education, and so much more.
Let's get talking.
All right, and we are back. 1.5 years of not podcasting, and we are back. I was actually surprised myself to see that it took us 1.5 years to be back, as we were talking about it and thinking a lot about the podcast. We just never got around to actually recording with our busy schedules. So, yeah, we're back.
We are back. And funny enough, the last month or two, quite a few people have asked me, when is your next episode? Is your podcast over? And I've seen a study that said...
Are you guys fighting?
Oh, yeah, that was also a question people said as a joke, but it could be people were worried about us. Like,
oh, yeah,
is that like nice vibe gone? Are we going through something? We're good. We're all good, everybody. But
just busy.
Studies have shown that most podcasts don't make it past the second or third episode. So I'm happy to say that we are at our
10th episode.
Woohoo! 10th episode, which is, you know what? We never finished our podcast. We just took a very long...
We took a break.
We were on a break.
Yes, Joey. But started in 2021. We're in 2025 now with breaks in between. 10 episodes. So we're very happy about that. And we're also very happy to announce we'll give more details towards the end of the to finish off the podcast with more details. But we are...
Committed.
And we are happy to announce that we have started a new podcast studio, which is called Sinai Studios, which is named after Chaya's cousin. You want to tell more?
My cousin who passed away. And I think at the end of today's episode, we're going to give details, number one, about why we started this studio and what our goals and missions are for this, for like our hopes
things we're looking to do. Hopes and dreams.
Hopes and dreams about this podcast and in general, a media center for the Jewish community here in Amsterdam, coming from here to the rest of the world.
Yes,
so
trying to add a little brick to making Amsterdam great again.
Yeah, we're
our
all
mega,
into the mega.
our local mega.
Local mega.
Actually, it's funny because Trump is here right now in Amsterdam. We were watching live yesterday as Trump landed in Schiphol. It was very, very nice.
And I actually asked Melech, do you feel more American than Dutch, even though you don't have American citizenship yet?
Yeah.
Maybe one day. And you had to take a minute to think if you feel more loyal to America than to Holland, but maybe we should
or to
talk
Israel,
about it.
which is the same. It's hard for me to say because I think you can make the question even harder. What would you do if America, whether Israel, would start a war against Holland? Who would you fight for?
That's a hard one.
That's a very hard one. So I'm not going to answer that either because I think I just don't know what to answer, which is maybe also which is a problem because they say, if you're living in Holland, you should fight for Holland. Like, you're right. But, I
don't know. I feel more loyal to America than any other country. I know maybe that's a controversial thing to say.
But also more than Israel?
I feel for Israel. I love Israel. I would live in Israel even. But right now, I think... I'm American. I don't know.
Yes.
My father's Israeli, so I don't know. It's a hard question.
But I'll tell you something more, and that would make it even harder, because if America does have a war against Israel, and you would have to have one of your children or whether yourself go and fight against Israel, a lot of Jewish people would have to fight against their own brothers and sisters.
But this is like a very far-fetched thought, because first of all, America and Israel are very far from each other. So the chance of them getting into like a real war, maybe a war of words, or a Trump texting war, that could be too. Anything is possible.
But it's actually boils down to something I was reading recently in a history book about the Jewish people, that there were some wars that Jews fought against each other in the times of the Second Beis HaMikdash, etc., which is very sad for me to see, and was actually sad for me to read.
Which empires your loyalties were at.
Yeah, or different...
Romans and Persians.
That, and from people, not from... It was very sad, and I'm actually happy to see that. Let's take a step back for a second. The sad part was every time that the Jews did well in Eretz Yisrael is when the time that they started fighting with each other. And I actually was thinking the last few weeks that I've been reading that history is what could we do? Because I see that in Israel now.
Which book are you reading?
It's from Rabbi He writes a lot of history books.
Beryl Wine?
Beryl Wine, about
okay.
the second Beis Hamikdash era from the end of the
Second
first
Temple era.
Yeah, Second Temple till I'm not sure till when, but that's what I'm reading, where I'm up to right now. I was actually thinking the modern day Israel, you have that same problem when there's a war in Israel. Like if you look now for Iran, everybody's united and everybody's praying, and Netanyahu's going to the Kaisel, like the Western world, all good, but we already know what the future is in a year or two from now when everything settles.
In like 5 minutes from now.
Yeah. And then they start fighting. Yeah, should the Orthodox go to the army? Should they not? And you see they are only using the country. They're not. So, and then we start fighting with each other. I think we should work towards an idea where we as Jewish people, even in a country where there is peace, that we don't fight with each other, but fight together.
That could probably happen when Mashiach comes.
That is very... Do you feel the Mashiach vibes? No.
No. We could talk about that soon. The whole topic of Mashiach for me is very layered in many, many ways. And maybe we could talk about it in another podcast.
Yeah, we'll talk about it in another podcast. But maybe you are right that nowadays that when there's no Mashiach, but even in Second Temple, officially it was the time of a holy time, isn't it? But they were already fighting. So I guess you're right. When Mashiach comes, it will be like that there will be no more wars.
No more lion roars.
Yeah. So, but till then we will, I guess, maybe have to just deal with the fights once in a while, even within Israel.
I actually saw a very funny video clip of like a bunch of Israelis sitting in the Ma'amad together, like in the shelter. And then one of them looks at each other. Oh, okay, we're done. Oh, we're done? Okay. And all of a sudden they all start fighting and arguing with each other. Like, okay, it's done, so now we could continue with fighting. Like when the war, as long as we're under threat, we're cool. But as soon as the threat is gone, we're ready to fight again. Let's go back a little bit. The past 1.5 years where we've been not podcasting, what has been going on in our life?
A lot. There's been a lot going on, and a lot of things happened. And obviously in Israel, a lot's happening. You know, the war in Israel now, we just hopefully finished the war, the 12-day war. But we had our own bar and bas mitzvah. We had a bar mitzvah.
Our son had his bar mitzvah last June.
Yeah.
End of, like, right before Shavuot.
Yeah.
And then...
With a bat mitzvah in November.
Yeah.
24.
And a lot of traveling.
Yeah, we were in New York for 2 weddings and a bar mitzvah from
Not
family.
3 weddings and a funeral, if anyone knows that movie. But we were for 2 weddings and a bar mitzvah.
Yeah, exactly. And while we were at it, between the 2 weddings, we went to Niagara Falls. And I must say that was magnificent. Unbelievable how I think you could really see there the power of God creating the world. A little bit of godliness in the amount, the power of that water. I think it's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's very interesting because it wasn't my first time going.
Yeah.
So it was nice to see it. Like, it's like Niagara Falls is one of those places that everyone has to go at least once in their life.
You went there with school when you were younger.
I went with camp once, and I went on a road trip with my mother and my cousin, like when I was like, before I met you, right before I met you.
Yeah, but it was the first time with our kids, and they also really loved it. And we went with Chaya's sister and cousins, so it was really, really, really fun. And it was just a beautiful place to be. We were on the Canadian side, which I think is a nice side.
Side is better than the American side.
Yeah. There isn't much to say about the food in Niagara Falls.
We didn't eat anything special. We actually made our own food, which was very special. My sister Divi, shout out to you. Oh my God, my chair is squeaking. She really had all the food under control. Yeah. We ate steak, we barbecued. We had great food there. I do remember that.
Yeah, our own food, but there's the restaurant
there. But I don't know if we can...
I think we got a pizza maybe on Sunday. I don't remember.
I think in the end, not.
I don't remember. Maybe before we left. But anyways, in New York...
We don't remember it.
That says enough.
But there's something that I learned about the last 1.5 years of traveling and going places that, yes, we've eaten some delicious food.
Yeah.
But when we travel and we cook our own food using local produce, and it is the best food that I eat.
But you know why that is also? Because you enjoy making food. I remember other people going on vacation with others where they just didn't enjoy the cooking process, and maybe it was for more people, that it was a strain on the vacation is that cooking needed to be done. And because you enjoy cooking, that is also easier for you. Because like I remember one time when we went with friends, I think, or was in Italy, and we went fishing. And we did our own, we went fishing, kosher fishes, and then we took along a barbecue and butter, and we like made an amazing barbecue. We enjoyed it so much.
Yeah, but that was really special because the kids fished their own fish.
Yeah.
And then I took butter from the hotel, from the kosher hotel. We took
It was in
butter
Italy,
and we bought
right?
herbs and olive oil and lemon juice, and we're like squeezing it all over the fish. And the kids are like rubbing the sage, and they were all into it. It was really, really nice. And for me, that's the most delicious food.
possible.
Obviously, we'll talk about soon the places I've eaten or we have eaten, but I do find that fresh and natural ingredients and just pure, delicious produce can create the most delicious ingredients
And also
recipes.
memories.
And memories, exactly. So for me, on vacation is actually my favorite time to cook because I feel more relaxed and I think...
And you do it well.
Oh, thanks. Okay, so we went on a trip to Niagara Falls, and we had 2 weddings and a bar mitzvah. It was beautiful.
Yeah, it was
So
amazing
nice to be with family time.
Yeah.
And then after that, we had our daughter Rivka's bat mitzvah in November.
But I thought you wanted to talk about the restaurant you went to in...
That was after.
No,
Yeah,
I know,
yeah.
but we also went to a cafe together. What was it called?
Oh, when we were
Alma
in New York,
Cafe?
we went to Alma Cafe.
Yeah.
And it's not like a dinner place. It's more like a breakfast lunch place. But
yeah. We took our brother there, Zalmi.
Yeah, he
it was
went along with
really
us.
nice. It was a nice vibe over there, good food.
it's kind of like if you're from Brooklyn, it's like on, I think, Utica and Dean Street. It's like all the way on the outskirts between like Williamsburg and Crown Heights.
We walked back from, I think it took us like 10-15 minutes to walk to Crown Heights, which wasn't bad.
No, it wasn't. And I think I really liked it. It made me feel like I was in Israel. It had just delicious pastries all made with butter and
Israel style
good,
lunch.
good feta
breakfast.
cheese and good little, they had this amazing olive tapenade.
Yeah.
Oh,
But they didn't want to
good.
give us the recipe.
We wanted to, no, we wanted to take more to go, but
Take
they
along,
didn't have,
yeah.
or they didn't want to sell it to us,
Yeah.
which was a shame because it was really good.
It was very
But
good.
I think we tried to recreate it
Yeah,
when we came
tried.
home. Yeah.
But so that was New York. And
For
then
me also, like, sorry to go into this a little bit, a good meal consists of something that's really salty, something acidic, something crunchy. Like really, we've talked about this in other podcasts, but like when you order like this breakfast shook board over there or whatever it's called, and you get like delicious bread and you get like a little bit of egg and a little bit of sour cream and a little bit of feta and a little bit of this olive thing. You're getting like all these crazy flavors in your mouth, and it just, as I like to say,
and we're not even getting paid for this ad.
no, I like to say it's yummy for my tummy.
Yeah.
It's a nice experience, basically.
Yeah,
So that
it is
was
very
one place
nice.
that we really enjoyed. Because, when you go with the kids, we don't... What did we do with the kids then? Oh, yeah, we gave them money and we told them, go to the pizza store. And they went for pizza and we went out to have nice lunch.
No, dinner. Didn't we go to dinner with friends?
That was another time. But that wasn't so special, the food. So we won't name the
place. It
establishment.
was expensive and not so good.
Yeah, very expensive, not very tasty. Like, not so special.
Yeah.
So,
But I think also what we did fun with the kids is that we told them if they're learning a certain part of Torah.
if they say their chitas for like...
Yeah, right. For a month or something like that, or the 2 months before we went, I would take them out to Izzy's Grill in Crown Heights, and they, can I say, fresh their face out over there? So yeah, no, that was very nice. That was also a fun experience just to take them, because that's something we don't really have here in Holland. So yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, it's like a barbecue smokehouse.
Yeah.
And it is a treat to go there. People take it for granted, but our kids, they had to earn that.
They earned it and they really, really enjoyed it. So no,
Yeah.
that was very nice.
And I think I took the kids just for regular dinner somewhere, and they were so tired that they fell asleep while they were eating. They were like falling asleep. But so that was great. That was a wonderful summer trip last year.
Yeah. And then fast forward to the winter where we broke up for our travels.
Right. But actually, we missed that before we went to Niagara Falls and before we went to New York.
What?
In the winter vacation last year, we went to Venice.
You're 100% right. I totally forgot about that. Yeah,
Yeah,
we
and-
didn't even discuss that.
It was actually a
Venice.
really special trip because, first of all, we went in a camper.
Oh, yeah.
And we drove our way through. We went through Germany. So we used like the first 2 days that was like Christmas, where everything is closed anyway, we use those as travel days. So we went to Nuremberg, which was very eerie to see the big Zeppelin field where Hitler used to hold his huge rallies.
Marshmallow.
Yeah, and then we drove and we passed Dachau, which he refused to enter. So
Correct.
we continued driving. And then we continued to what was that very cute mountain place in Austria? The Sound of Music.
What's it called?
Salzburg.
Salzburg. Yes, that was very nice. And we went to salt mines. We went deep down into salt mines. That was really nice.
It was one of the most beautiful trips to see the source of where like salt comes from.
They give you like a tiny little salt shaker. Remember the kids were like...
It was very cute.
It was very cute.
Very, very cute. And I tried to reenact a scene from The Sound of Music, and nobody wanted to cooperate, which made me really upset. And you filmed the whole thing, and now we get to laugh how silly and pathetic it all was. And then we went down to Venice from Salzburg, and we parked in a very cute camping space.
Right outside
Venice. And from there, we took a bus, and in 5 minutes... We were in Venice.
So it was actually good because the hustle and the bustle of Venice itself, it's really, really busy. And I think it's great to have like an end of the day, you're like, all right, let's go home. And we had our place in the camper.
And we did cook when we were traveling through like Germany and Austria. We cooked most of our meals in the camper, and we made amazing rice lentil soup that became like a new family favorite.
Yeah.
And also one night we also made amazing pasta inside the camper that we bought in Venice. So it was like really good pasta.
But also I had friends ask, isn't it like terrible to be stuck in a camper? But every time I look back at the pictures of the camper, whether it was this trip or the last trip we took, there's a certain like warm, cozy feeling whenever you look at those pictures, because it's small, but you have to like work with each other. Okay, you're going to take a shower, then you take the towels, and then like, but it's a really cozy feeling.
Experience.
But I am almost sure that we can't do it many more times because the kids are really getting bigger.
Or we have to take a bigger camper.
A bigger camper, that's right.
But I think also what's very, very special about it is that you're a little bit like in your own little pod. For Shabbos, we didn't stay in the camper though, so we rented an apartment,
Airbnb in Venice,
near the Chabad, so we can go to shul. And there is like a few restaurants in Venice as well, and they were good.
Okay.
They were good. The best thing to do in Italy is always order pasta. You know it's going to be good. I can't say that the meats were anything special or to write home about, but it's okay. Like
it was good enough.
Yeah, it was really more than good enough. And we bought Shabbos food as well for Shabbos lunch, and
we ate by the Chabad, no?
For Friday night.
Yeah, Shabbos Day, so we ate there. We ate by the Chabad. No?
Doesn't matter.
Oh, no, right, I remember. We ate in the apartment.
Yeah. So, but it was a really great experience. And I think 3 or 4 days in Venice was more than enough.
Yeah, you got the point.
We got the point at the end of it.
But then the whole trip took like a week?
It was like 10 days, I think, because then after Shabbos, we actually left a day earlier because we were like, okay, we've seen everything.
Yeah.
And we stopped on the way through Strasbourg, which was very happy for me because we stopped in a French bakery.
And you spoke French and you ordered your food.
Un pain chocolat, deux, no, trois, no, I want 5. I want more. It was so cheap, everything, that I couldn't. I think I went.
If you ever go to France and you want to have a cheaper version of Paris, go to Strasbourg because you have a lot of Jewish community, a big large community over there with reasonable priced foods, restaurants, just a little bit more calm
and quiet.
than Paris.
And cleaner as well.
Yeah. So anyway, if you ever want to have that option.
Do you remember the look on my face when I came out of the bakery?
Yeah, you're so excited.
So happy.
Yeah.
I think I went in a second. I went back a second time to buy
get more. Yeah.
Because I was like
baguettes.
Exactly. But that was just a really nice trip in Venice, and we hope to take a camping trip again this winter. And we have to, because we didn't take one this past winter, because again, more travels, everybody. I don't know if this is interesting.
We split up this time though. We broke up.
I went with the girls to New York because my niece Shayna was getting married. Woo! And we also, so we did a whole New York Hanukkah. It was on Hanukkah.
It was Hanukkah, yeah.
I was with the girls in New York by my parents.
And I took the boys to Prague because that was a city that I heard a lot of beautiful things about. But we just never ended up getting there. So I took the boys. We drove through Germany, all the way through Germany into Prague. And we really had the time of our life. It was really nice. It was really a boys' trip. You know what I'm saying? We took a nice Airbnb in a central place. And because you're only with 3 people, you can take a little bit of a smaller and nicer Airbnb, as when you're a whole family with 6, it's a bit harder to find 3 bedrooms. And, it was really, really nice. Prague is gorgeous. The food is okay. Like, the restaurants are nice and like
enough to keep you alive.
yeah,
basically.
exactly. It's not nothing to write home about, but it's good enough, especially when you're traveling. And the markets are nice, and the people there are nice. And no, we were very, very happy that we, not that we split up, but that we went to Prague, and we really enjoyed it. And the boys, I think the best part they remember is that we drove very fast on the German highways because there's no speed limit. So I think we hit the 220 on
You
with
guys
the
are
car.
crazy.
Yeah. And the kids really like, okay, go more, faster.
And if I would have been there,
No, that would
not
been
have
as fast.
happened. That has not happened.
Not
when
have been
I've
as
there.
fun.
Well,
Yeah.
funny enough, in New York I had a car accident,
Yeah.
so that was
not
not
when you're
very
driving
fun.
220 though.
No, but it was not very fun. I was with the girls, and thankfully we all came out whole and complete, more or less. But it was a very, I think, a traumatic car accident, and we're all lucky to be okay and alive. And it was a very special trip this winter. And I also did eat very good food. I ate at a fish restaurant with my cousin. She was reviewing a restaurant, and
She invited you to
to
come
come
along.
with her. And I think it was called Otoro. And I don't know if it's the best restaurant in New York because I didn't really eat out that much with the girls. We just did
And
a
you
lot of
didn't eat
pizza.
that in all restaurants, so you don't know
No.
if it's the best.
Exactly, because I wasn't going to go myself. So, but it was a delicious meal, and I said to Melch, next time I go back to New York, we're definitely going to
Did
go
you say
there.
it was a fish restaurant?
It was
Yeah,
fish, but it was
yeah.
really I ate
Luxurious.
kosher lobster rolls, and they were so yummy. Like
Mm-hmm.
I have a good memory of that meal. It was really good food. So shout out to them. And yeah, I think we've covered all the traveling and all the places that we've been. And
Mm-hmm.
I've also been to Rome this year myself. I went with my friend Chaget. Hey Chaget, that was an awesome trip. I think I ate the best food of my entire life, besides for the food that I make for myself, obviously.
At home.
But I literally, like, I can't describe the simplicity of ingredients and the depth of flavor all at the same time. I ate a
Italy
pasta
all the
dish
way,
that was so
baby.
good that when the waitress wanted to take my plate, I said, 1 second, I need to lick it.
And did you?
No, but I was just joking because it was so good. And we did a kosher food tour and we tasted, yummy, yummy, yummy. It was just so good. I advise everyone to go to Rome. And we
I
are
heard from
definitely...
other friends that went to Rome that Rome is like a open museum.
Open-air museum.
Open air museum. That's how beautiful it is. Like every corner you take, like every street you
So,
walk
1
in.
second. I just want to say the word open ear. I don't know if that's
Prison.
the right word. No, I'll tell you why. Because in Dutch you say openlucht,
Openluchtmuseum.
which is translated as open air, but I think in English you would say an outdoor museum.
Outdoor museum?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that would make more sense.
Okay, could be.
Just like,
But basically, it's one big museum, outdoor museum. You think people understand now?
yeah,
Yes,
now
great.
they will.
Okay,
Yes,
awesome.
it was amazing. The Colosseums, the Arch of Titus, everything. It was just an amazing
He even ended up in the
experience.
Vatican.
We're not going to talk about it.
Okay.
Okay.
She's still Jewish. She didn't convert. No.
No, but I don't know if I would do that again. It wasn't what I
But it's
thought
good
it
that
would
she
be.
didn't now, because if you go with me, I'm not going to go into the Vatican. So you saw it now. You can check it off your bucket list.
It was not my bucket list. Maybe I was curious. Okay.
Yeah.
The Sistine Chapel seemed very appealing to me, and it was beautiful and magnificent. So I guess my bucket list
Check.
for that was checked off.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, those are basically our travels in the last year and a half. So you're up to date with our
Yeah,
travels.
where we've
and,
come, what we've eaten.
And we're still
but-
deciding what we're doing for the summer travels. And we'll update you once we have our final plans and when everything is set in stone.
Yeah, exactly. And I think also something that I've been busy with, if anyone checks my WhatsApp status, is I try to make myself beautiful, delicious lunch every day, and I call it MLGA, Make Lunch Great Again. By the way, everyone will think that we're like these diehard Trump-obsessed people because we
Yeah.
keep saying like MAGA, Make Amsterdam Great
Yeah.
Again. It's just a good acronym, Make Lunch Great
And it's
Again,
fun.
and yeah, it's fun. And I really like making my lunch great again every single day. Makes
Mala.
on beautiful dishes, because when you eat on nice dishes, it makes your food feel nicer and prettier, and makes life just so much more worth living when you have delicious food in your mouth. That's
Yeah.
it.
And you make very good food for yourself.
I try.
Also fuss. Okay, I'm joking. Yeah, no, sorry. I wanted to say in general, in the last few months, you have been more aware of what kind of food you're eating, besides the lunches that you're making for yourself and you're posting it for the rest of the world to see. You also you started like using avocado oil and stuff like that. So you are being more aware.
Yeah, I kind of like, it's like MAHA, the Make America Healthy Again. But the truth is, it's something that we've been busy with, I think, ever since we've gotten married.
I think it's a journey.
Yeah, and there's been times and years where I was more involved and engaged with healthy food styles. And then I got a little bit like tired of it, or just wasn't motivated enough. But I think that certain changes of in my body and in my health has forced me to start making these changes in my life, and I feel so much better in so many different ways. And I think when we start to realize how the food we eat affects our bodies
much more than we sometimes
and our health,
think,
then we all of a sudden start realizing that that we have to be careful
more
what we
careful.
put in our mouth. And for example,
our
like
body is our temple.
we have to also listen. If you eat something and you feel a disagreement with it, then that's probably a food that's not good for you.
Well, that's something that not necessarily everybody has. Your body, when you eat something that's not good for you, your body tells it right away, okay, that's not good for you.
I mean, for
But
example,
not-
I
not-
bought
that's not the
I
same
bought
by
a snack
everybody.
yesterday in the shop because I was very hungry. I didn't eat on time, and I looked at the ingredients. Probably it was like with chickpea, and I was like, oh, it looks healthy. Okay, and I bought it, and I ate some of it, and I right away started feeling so nauseous. I'm like, what is in here? And of course there was MSG in there, and I regret even putting that in my mouth. It was like, but because I haven't eaten food like that in such a long time, my body literally
sensitive
could
to
not
it.
handle it immediately. So
Yeah, no, which maybe could be that because you're being aware of it now, so your body right away tells you, or it could be that just in general your body is more telling
maybe
you.
more sensitive.
Yeah. It's better at telling you what.
I'm staying away from seed oils. I'm not going to go into the whole thing of seed oils because I'm still learning more about it. But that seed oils, they're cheap oils, but they're not good for our bodies. They're not good for our hormones. They're not
Is that
good for our.
scientifically proven?
No, yeah, they're
No,
also
we
not
don't
good.
know.
They make you bloated, and a certain they go rancid in your body, and a lot of problems and hormonal imbalances that people get could come from seed oils. And I'm not going to go more about it, so I don't want to be a misinformation.
We will also research it more. and
Yeah,
then-
so,
but you for yourself you could decide, hey, listen, let's try to stay away from that.
From seed oils, and
Yeah.
we have avocado oil and olive oil, and we use those interchangeably. And obviously extra virgin coconut oil is also really a beautiful
Yeah.
ingredient.
The only thing I could say about it, a lot of these kind of things, that today avocado oil is holy, but within 2 years from now, someone else will come out with a study that avocado is very unhealthy because it's from a pit, and the pit, you know what I'm saying?
Actually, avocado oil doesn't come from the pit.
I'm
That's
just
why it's
giving
not a
it
seed
as an
oil.
example.
It comes from the flesh of the avocado.
I understand, but I'm just giving it as an example.
All right.
These things go up and down. It's
No,
also
for
sometimes
sure,
it's
but
a
that's why a lot of these things you have to be in balance. You don't have to become extreme.
Yeah, that's
but
important.
if I don't want to have sugar as a trigger for my cravings,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't eat sugar and I feel great, then why would I want to eat sugar? I'm okay. Like, I don't feel
Yeah.
deprived. But do I impose that on the kids and not let them have anything with sugar and go like totally like strict on them? No, they're kids. They're going to have sometimes candies. They're sometimes going to eat things that are not the best for them. But subconsciously, they have started also making healthier choices. And we also started fermenting cabbage on the counter, and then eating it after 2 or 3 weeks with all this amazing probiotics. It feeds your gut, and our kids
Love it.
cannot stop eating it. They come home from school.
I have to make a new batch, actually.
Yes, we just finished. I bought the cabbage already. They come home from school and they'll make themselves a bowl of yogurt with spices and fermented cabbage on top of it, and that's their snack. And when I see that, I'm like, I probably ate it
We
once,
didn't
and they
push
were
it
like,
for it, yeah.
yeah, they want to eat it. And our 7-year-old daughter, she drizzles the olive oil on top, and then she takes the special flaky salt, and she does it by herself. Like, she's like this foodie. She's interested to eat delicious
Healthy
food.
food.
And I think that kind of perspective on how you look at food and how it nourishes you, when it's good for you, when it's good for your gut, your body actually craves it. And that's why they like it so much, because it's like, all those healthy bacteria in your stomach are saying like, give me more of that probiotic. I want it. It's delicious. And I don't know if this has anything to do, but like I could say that our kids generally, except for like our daughter's asthma incident in the hospital a few weeks ago, I don't think it was connected to her health. It was more connected to her allergies, which it's all connected. But they've not been getting sick this winter. They've been really healthy, Baruch Hashem. And if they get sick, it's maybe for a day, and then they're bouncing
back
right
on their
back.
feet.
So
But
definitely,
if people want to start eating healthier, I think what's very important to know is not to do it from 1 to 100 at once. I think you were listening to a podcast once. This lady said that she has a 90-10 rule, that 90% of what she eats is healthy,
or
and
95-5 or
whatever
something.
it is. It does. But for every person that's starting this journey, like you don't start with 50-50. Say I'm only eating 50% healthy and 50% less healthy stuff. And that way you can then build up to 60-40, etc., etc. And then
also start to learn about like what, like when you get sick or you're not healthy, don't just take more medicine and go to the doctor right away. Obviously you need the doctor sometimes, but ask yourself, why am I getting sick? And you know, for me, that was a big question I was asking myself for like 6 months this year. Why am I having these symptoms? Why am I not feeling good? And when I finally came to understanding what exactly my problem was, the power that I felt inside of
you
me,
figured it
that
out.
I can heal my own body. When the doctors told me, try this, try that, and they weren't
Take
able,
Tylenol.
they weren't really taking it seriously. So I became my own medicine. And for me, that was invigorating. It inspired me to just want to be a healthier person. And I think when I'm eating in that way and you're eating in that way, and our kids automatically start to pick up on it also. And doesn't mean on Purim or Simchas Torah or whatever, I don't let them have those candies. I don't buy it per se once in a while, but it's actually funny because remember those Laffy Taffies? They were sitting in the closet for months. We told the kids that it's really bad. It's the most unhealthy snack they could ever eat, and none of them ate it. And like our youngest was even like, she told her friend, like, look at these. My brother bought them, but they're so unhealthy that none of us want to eat it. I was like, okay. Like, I think we threw them out because they just didn't eat them. But it's not that we try to get candies without food coloring, at least for that. But I'm not going to, we want our kids to be able to come to this.
Or 80-20.
Yeah, and that they should come to that understanding that they don't want to eat those kinds of foods as they grow. And I think that they will, because they see us as that example.
Yeah. And like, for instance, like this past Sunday, we made pizza in our new pizza oven. We got rid of our homemade pizza oven and we bought a Uni or whatever, one of those gas pizza stone ovens. That, pizza is maybe not the best meal, but you make your own dough, your own sauce.
High quality flour.
The cheese. You want to tell the people about our...
yes. Oh my gosh, we sound like we're homesteaders. We're really not. We're so far from it.
That we're what?
Like these people who like... They grow everything in their garden.
Oh, no.
And like,
not
but
yet.
We went. There's a new cheese. It's called Authentic Dutch Chalav Yisrael cheese. Maybe we can put the website to order that cheese in our links as a gratitude for letting us come and take some raw Chalav Yisrael milk. So there's a new company brand of Gouda cheese, which is very made in this beautiful home style, not really home style, but a family owned
small factory cheese farm
in Zwolle.
Yeah,
and it's
which is towards the east of Holland. And we drove like around the hour from Amsterdam and we picked up raw milk. And I'm sure a lot of people are like, oh, you can't drink raw milk. You could
up to 3 days. You can eat it, drink it. So we freeze it so that way it can last.
Stay fresh.
From this delicious milk, which...
We went there last week Thursday or 2 weeks ago Thursday?
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago on Thursday, and on Thursday morning it was milked, and we got it Thursday afternoon. And then that's how fresh the milk was. And then Chayla has been playing around with the milk to make...
all kinds of things. So it's actually been an amazing experience. First of all...
We made butter this week.
The raw milk has amazing gut-building properties that really nourish your stomach. And normally I don't drink cow milk because my body cannot handle it. But when I drink the raw milk, I really have no allergic reaction to it. Not like I don't have milk allergies. I just get like stomach pain and things like that. And my body could handle it. I've made ricotta cheese, which was creamy and delicious.
Add it to your pasta. And
Yeah, we've made that. And this Sunday, so we froze it, and then I took 2 out of the freezer, and I removed the cream from the top, and I made butter. And it's
For the
also
first
for the
time.
first time I made butter, and it was delicious.
Yeah.
I just wish I had more cream. So then we have to figure out how to get more of the cream separated. It's hard to separate it, but it was delicious. And so now I also have buttermilk, and I just now again before this podcast made another batch of ricotta cheese.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. What are we're eating tonight?
I don't know. We'll see.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
But no. So we'll update more when we have made more other things from the milk.
Yeah.
With the
And also the cheese that comes from this factory, so like once a month they kind of rent the factory, they clean it out, and they have a mashgiach there for a whole week, and they make kosher Chalav Yisrael Gouda cheese, and it's a very, very delicious.
very mild.
Yeah, it's really gentle, beautiful cheese. Really enjoying it very, very much. And the farmer is really nice. You feel like you're coming to this like homey, and they have a shop there, and I bought freshly milled flour, and I made sourdough from it, and
Which also came out very well.
delicious.
So you could, if we take one thing away, you could see that obviously I understand that in a store where you have pasteurized milk and you need to make it for the masses, you can't have milk that goes bad after 3 days. So I understand that all these things are done, but when you have the opportunity to take flour that's from the
Freshly milled.
and milk that's and it does have benefits, and you have the opportunity to do it. Why not?
Exactly. And I do think also there's something really special about connecting to where your food comes from.
To know where
And
it's going.
to know where it comes from. And like when we went to the salt factory down in the salt mines in Salzburg, or we went to the olive oil factory in
Italy.
Verona near Venice. We also had an amazing experience over there. And now with the milk, just knowing where your food is coming from and the source of it, it gives you so much more.
And I think it's also important for the kids
Yeah.
that they know where it's coming from. It's not just from the supermarket, but
Exactly. It gives you a lot of more like connection to the food that you're eating, and it's just a wholesome experience. And I think I didn't expect that we'd be talking so much about this whole food journey. I didn't even realize that it was a journey, or that we changed so much in this past year and a half of how we eat and how we relate to food. And it doesn't mean that when I go eat at friends' houses, I like will be judgmental because they don't eat the way I eat or things like that. I'm totally not like so extreme like that.
We're not like vegans.
No, no. What I'm saying is like I also know that our body should be able to hold a certain amount of food that it doesn't agree with 100%, and that's okay. And I'm not like judge, and I'm not like this. I'm not rigid about it. It's just little gradual
Awareness.
changes to make so that I can feel good most of the time, and trying to use that.
And I think it's also an investment.
90-10 ratio.
Yeah. And I think it's also an investment in your own body, because you have only one body, and if you want to be strong and healthy when you're 70, 80, now is also the time to do that.
Yeah, so probably like my next thing is that I need to start exercising. But it was a little hard because I did break my foot, but we're not going to talk about it. But you've also been working out.
Yeah, we're trying.
How is it for you?
Tiring. I get tired, but I really enjoy it. It's I think it's a good benefit to be moving, and whatever movement is good for you, that's what you should do, and what you enjoy. Because if you don't enjoy it, the chance of it lasting for longer than a week or two is quite small.
Yeah,
So,
tell me about it.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, so I think we want to talk about the detox that we're having right now, because the 12-day war is over in Israel. And
that's jumping to a whole other topic.
Yeah, because I think we're up to, what is it, almost 40 minutes. So I think people would want their time back.
Oh.
So I think we have to...
But I do want to say is that in this last year and a half, it's been a huge roller coaster, meaning like every time we think something is over, or the hostages are coming home, or I don't
some
know.
hostages do come home.
Yeah, it's just...
And you see
it's like
pictures, and there's the bodies, and then there's the funerals, and it's really been a roller coaster.
It's also like a little bit of an adrenaline rush. So our brain becomes like reliant on this like chemical reaction to like all this like over and over and over again. And then like, so we had in the last 12 days, there was this war with Iran where, missiles are falling all over central Israel, and we have family there, and we're worrying about them, and we're thinking about them. So we keep checking the news, and we keep reading, and we hear this and that. And then all of a sudden there's this ceasefire, and then you check the news and you're like,
There's no news.
There's no news. And not that we want the war to continue. It's
No,
good that there's
absolutely
quiet.
not. Yeah.
But it's more like you become used to this adrenaline rush.
Yeah, and also I think it's a mix of adrenaline and also hoping that not like I remember Israel I think started bombing Iran on a Thursday, and then Shabbos came, and like when Shabbos was over, I really wanted to know, okay,
What
are we
happened?
still here? Is Israel
Yeah.
still existing? Did they like
Yeah.
but Baruch Hashem, everything. Obviously, it's very hard for those people in Israel that had to go in and out of their bunkers, shelters. But and I from friends I heard that the explosions that did hit were much worse than those rockets coming from Gaza. So I really, we thought a lot about our family and friends. We davened a lot. We had a special gathering last week where we came together as a community in Amsterdam, where we davened for the situation in Israel. So that's on one side.
So I had that also when the
adrenaline
war in Iran started as
that you
well.
hope that
I
it's
said
okay.
with my students, they're first graders, so we said Tehillim and we sang together. Like that first Friday, we got together with other class and we sang and we said Tehillim. But then I kind of like don't keep talking about it because I'm like, these poor kids, like every day, and they come with the news. They said, "Oh, did you hear?" So it's like they're also like being affected by it, even though we're not in Israel. But we also, I think, I don't know, we have to also remind ourselves we are not in a war. We are safe here in Amsterdam, more or less. I know there's different differences of opinion of how safe we are, or if we're not safe.
But we
at
feel
all.
safe. Let's put it that way.
Yeah,
we don't have any
rockets
incidents.
falling on our head, and we have to remind ourselves that. 'Cause sometimes we can like internalize and almost like, I don't know if it's cosplaying, but almost like reacting in a way as if the rockets are right outside our window. So it's important to like stay healthy in our mind.
Yeah, but I think that's also due to the amount of news that we're consuming.
Yeah.
So that we start almost feeling that we're in it.
Yeah.
And we see, oh, this happened, and like the first like we're already so close to the news within minutes. When the alarm goes off, you already know that it's going on, and there's rock.
Wow.
Anyways, let's wrap it up and let's get back to where we started with Sinai Studios. I think you should talk or explain a little bit, share with us.
So there's, sorry.
Where Sinai, where the name Sinai Studios comes from.
I had a cousin. His name was Sinai Fried, Sinai Ben Chaim, and he passed away at the age of 23 years old. I think it's already now 3.5 years. He was a very special soul, someone who had a really challenging life, and
extremely talented.
Was extremely talented. He was musical. He was really. I really thought that he would be one of the next great musicians. When I see these young Hasidic like singers singing in Yiddish and making music, I always think of him because I'm like, that was him. That was who he was.
Maybe we can post the video. You know that video of him?
Maybe once we will.
Yeah.
We could post about him. And I happen to have been very close to him from when he was very little. I spent time in Israel, and he was just like my sweet cousin who we were just good friends. Our kids had met him. He ate with us when we were in Israel. So
Friday
we felt really
meal.
Connected to him. So after he passed...
It was actually the idea of him coming to play at David's bar mitzvah, or Mendel's bar mitzvah, one of the bar mitzvahs.
Mendel's bar mitzvah, actually, and I'd spoken to him about it, but he wasn't able to come. And unfortunately, a few weeks later, he passed away. So for me, I felt that in his memory, I wanted to do something that would be real expression of what his life could have been.
Talents.
If he didn't have maybe the struggles or the things that he was dealing with. And I wanted to do something that would express also his talents, like you said. So we thought we would open up a studio. His name was Sinai. So we thought we would open up a studio called Sinai Studios. And really the aim and the goal of this studio is to create content for the whole for anyone who lives around the world, for Jewish people to be inspired, to be just brought in,
to make
and
the world
engaged.
a little bit better than it was before we came into it,
to engage Jews from all over, and especially to shine a little light on our small little town of Amsterdam and our Jewish community. And I hope that we can, from this little podcast, we can also create, I have so many dreams of things. We want to make
Recording.
also podcasts for Jewish children in Dutch, in a different language, with music and acting and all kinds of things for Jewish kids. And as well as having a studio that other people can come and record their own content.
We're already at our first client this morning.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
to come record
and our studio doesn't look fancy yet.
We're working on it, and it's something we will post on our socials more when things are building up. We're really busy with it. We're really looking to expand and to make it a proper studio where people
We're gonna
can...
make a social.
Socials? You already have socials. We're on
I know,
X.
but it's funny, but however strange this is, I've been trying to engage less on like Instagram.
I'll
and
do it.
those.
I'll do the socials.
Oh, okay.
No, that's
only
fine.
because I don't know, I'm having this dissonance where I meet people on the street and they tell me things about what they saw on my socials, and I think, like, why did I share that? That was private. Like, why do you know that?
Yeah, well, that's your risk of making a podcast.
Well, yeah,
no, that's fine.
exactly.
So besides that, we'll do that, the Sinai podcast. We will obviously be more frequent with our podcast, you and me.
Right,
But
and then you're gonna also be making
podcast with guests.
With guests.
Which could be sometimes in Dutch, sometimes in English.
Right.
But we will write in the description whether they're in Dutch and in English.
Yeah.
We'll have guests. Maybe you also be interviewing some people that you have been meeting, or
Yeah.
Yes, so there's a lot of exciting things ahead.
And this is really, we're doing this because it's a passion project that we enjoy doing. It's something that we enjoy doing together.
Yeah,
it's like
a
a
lot.
joint hobby.
Yeah.
I like talking, you like listening and talking.
Yeah.
And together, I think we hope that we will speak
Inspire
things
the masses.
No, share things that are interesting for you to hear. Just normal lifestyle talk about of course, food, because we're obsessed with it, obviously. But I'm saying is how we live our life. And yes, we're Jewish and we're from and we live a religious lifestyle. But through it all, we're also just people. We have thoughts, we have ideas, we have feelings, we have ideas about.
So if you have
the
any
world.
ideas of stuff that you want to be recorded, whether that's music or stories, hook us up. Like
reach out to us.
Yeah, reach
we had
out
an email
or guests
address.
that you think they should be on the podcast.
Yeah.
We'll share our email address. I'm not sure
in
exactly.
the notes below.
Yeah.
Below, I think it's called A Couple of Thoughts Podcast 2008, but it's a little bit of an annoying email.
We'll see.
So maybe we'll change it. We're working on this. We really took a big break from this for quite a few years. So for quite a
I
few
think we
months.
should make our podcast name shorter, and we call it ACOP,
A cup,
which is a couple of thoughts.
a cup tea.
ACOP. A.
We're
We'll get
figuring it
back
out.
to it.
We'll get back to all of you. But meanwhile, wishing you all a wonderful rest of your.
Not ACOP.
Okay.
ACOT.
Okay.
But anyways, it doesn't matter. Have a great day, a great evening, whenever you're listening.
Whatever you're
Great
listening
week.
to this.
And
Yeah,
peace
over
out.
and out.
Thank you for listening. Drop a comment below to let us know your couple of thoughts on today's podcast.
Make sure to subscribe, like, and share our podcast with your friends so they too can join in on the fun.